Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the Primo quarterly update. The second quarterly, we are just back from Iluna, and it was very excited to see some of the customer over there and share some updates. Let's start with this quarterly update. In these highlights, what we would like to share with you is a new service, new smart service that we are introducing, more contextual relationship with this service, and we'll do a demo, share a demo on that, and explain what is it all about. It is part of our one of our Central Discovery Index project that we are running. So also we are going to do some brief update on that as well. In addition, we are going to show, introducing this release, the short permalinks. It is a nurse request to introduce shorter permalink than you have today as a nurse enhancement. I'm going to share with you also some enhancement that we did to the collection discovery. And again, a short demo for that. We are going to talk about Primo Analytics, how this is currently in our focus, also working with customer and feedback from them as an ongoing Primo Analytics improvement, and some improvement coming from the idea in this term. Another item coming from the idea is the support localization for the menu links. Then I'm going to pass over to Hani to share with you some updates regarding to the Primo VE. Before we are going deep into the item, I just want to mention the release schedule. So with regarding to my schedule, we are already after the installation to the sandbox and to the multi-tenant production, and before the release to the local customer and to the other cloud customer. And you can also see here that we are before the June release of Primo VE. I put here the link of the Primo release schedule and the Primo VE release schedule for your reference as well. Okay, so let's start. The contextual relationship. We are now starting to adding new relationship among the different material types, such as book-to-book reviews, book-to-book chapters, chapter to other chapters, and this is only the beginning of this. As part of our Central Discovery Index projects that we are running, I think that some of you may heard in the previous communication, and we also introduced that at Iluna. We are going now to efficient our operation with regarding to central index, and also offer smart services around that. So in order to do that, we are building a new graph database that reflects new relationships among the material. So we work in order to apply some rule and matching rules to better identify a relation between book to his book chapters, and save this in this new graph database. And in terms of the end user, for the end user experience, what the end user will see, he will be able to discover new links when he opens the full display. And in the context of what he was searching, if he was searching for a book and open the full display, he will be offered to see new links where he can being offered to go and deep see additional book reviews that referring to this book, or additional or chapters that are relevant to this book. And I'm going to do some demo about it. So I just want to mention, in terms of the end user, I'm opening book. I will be offered to see chapter of this book, and going into that, I will be introduce all of the chapters that are available for us. All of them coming from the central index, and based on the correlation that we found matched and stored in this new graph database. Let's do a short demo for that. So as I discussed, what we are going to see is the relations that we are currently introducing is, if I am opening a book chapters, I will be able to see a link to other chapters of the same book. And if I'm going to link over this, what I'm going to see, this is the book chapter that I came through, and I will be able to see the other book chapter that were found for that book. I can also see if I search for the book and I open the full display, I will be offered to see chapters of this book. So this is kind of relation book to the chapters of this book. And then again, going inside of that, I will be able to see those two chapters that were found. And another relation that we are introducing, if I am searching for a book and we manage to find book reviews that related, we are going to introduce a new link for book reviews. And going into that, we also going to introduce you the review that were found correlate to this book in our central index. Okay, so this is regarding how the end user is going to experience these new relations by having a new links in the full display. I want to discuss a little bit about the rollout of that. We are going to enable this by default, those links, and of course those links are going to appear in the full display if we manage to find correlation in those graph database. We are going to do some gradual rollout to the relation data. We found amount of data, and this is going to be improved. We are going to also introduce in the future new relationship and new types, and also the direction, the opposite direction. Like if I have review to a book, I think that this is one of the questions that was asked in the Primo list. So we are starting with this, and you will expect to see more on that in the future. Now, regarding to the rollout of the feature and make you in how you and make it available for you. So starting today, we are going to some of the customers are going to see those relations. So we are going to do some kind of softly rollout. This week, some of the customers will be able to see those relations, and next week it's going to be available for all of the customers to see. Customers that choose to disable that, there is a mapping table that can do disable. I know that just one note regarding to that. There was a week ago, we by mistake opened the front end. One of the front end of this new database was open, and some customer will manage to see some relation and report in the list on known issues. All of those issues were known to us and were aligned now, and the release last week was by mistake. What I'm about to send to the list today, that the feature is going to be available for the customers starting of today, not to all of the customer. All of the customer will be able to see this new relation starting of next week, and we are waiting for your feedback, of course, for that. Okay, next is the enhancements request that we get from the community to allow a short permalink, to make our permalinks much shorter. And the use case for that is to allow the user use those shortened permalink via the chat, via email, and other communication with the end user. So what we did is, and this is really some kind of initiative, a nice one that we had in internal hackathon that we have with our development here. We managed to have the shortened permalink. We managed to do the shortened permalink in a way that we are introducing here the Primo domain. We will have this constant of the permalink, and what we did is you will able to see some kind of hash key over there that behind the scene actually reflects the combination of the tab, of the scope, and the view that you so far managed to see for the longer permalink. So all of those parameters that you used to see in the URL are currently hashed into this key, and the dynamic record ID will be shown. So as you can see here, this is the way the permalink is being shortened, where this hash is representing some kind of combination of all of the parameters that used to appear in the longer version of the URL. I just want to mention that this was, of course, working for both records that are part of your local repository and also for the central index. We did manage to see some customer doing customization to make the URL shortened. They did it for the local repository. Now with this enhancement, it's worked for both central index and for the local repository. And then again, this is coming from the NERS and from the ideas exchange. I will do a short demo on that, where I introduce you and where I show you that for records coming from Primo Central. So we used to have all of those parameters, as you can see in this URL scope, view ID, all of those records here, introduced here. And now, when I'm clicking and show you the permalink, all of those combinations that used to appear in the record are actually hashed into this, and the record ID is represented, and this is the way your URL is being cut. We are releasing this out of the box because we think that it was voted very highly. So out of the box, we are going to introduce the shortened permalink. Customers that choose to use the longer version can do this using customization. We published to the documentation to the Knowledge Center how to do that, how to choose the longer version, and this was regarding to the short permalink. Next is some enhancements that we did with this release with the collection discovery. One of the things that I want to mention is we worked with the ALMA team in order to better correlate and give you more control of how to display and make your collection visualize. So you can go into ALMA, and in ALMA, in the collection editor, you will be able to see a new discovery tag where you can upload and configure up to 4 images to display here, with high quality images. So the high quality is important when you are displaying the collection page and you don't want to see necessarily a low quality image with many pixels. So you can choose which images to show and reflect in the collection. Those images will be seen either as in the folder of the collection or the one that you choose in this collection page. Before this enhancement, what Primo did is took the one image that you configure as a thumbnail, and the rest of the images were selected randomly from the level from the items underneath. So Primo with Alma and Primo VE also with Alma now work together to better promote your collection by choosing the images to display here. So this is one enhancement. As you can see, we are mentioning here down below when this was released in Primo VE and when it's being released in Primo. So far for both Primo and Primo VE, this capability is working. One mention, Primo and Rosetta, if you are for the collection discovery against the Rosetta, it will work as it was, allowing to change only one, to control only one image as works today. Another enhancement that we did is to allow search within the collection. So we are introducing a new search bar below the promotion of this collection page, and you will be able to search inside the when we are talking about the search, we're talking about searching the items that are directly under this collection, and also searching for sub-collections, but only the sub-collection folder that are directly under these collections. this decision was taken based on consultants with many customers, where we reflecting the question whether to do some kind of deep hierarchy search or search within the same level. And we're discussing with many customers, we choose to have the search immediately under this collection. So let's do a short demo for that. Okay, so I've already opened the Van Gogh painting and already showing item as when I search for garden. Now I'm be able to see more item of this collection. Of course, the search is very relevant if we have collection with many items. If I want to search for the sunflower of Van Gogh, then I will search and I will be able to find that. Then again, the search is also going to work for this for the sub collection. So if I'm searching for self and the sub collection is containing the self, it's going to be searched again. It's going to be retrieved as well here. So this is also coming and raised in the idea exchange, and this is something that we plan to do and wanted to do. And we are all going also to introduce in the upcoming releases also the ability to sort, to have the sort by, and enhance it more. Okay, so this was regarding the collection discovery. Now, with regarding to another idea, customers that have multilingual interface now will be able to configure main menu entries also based on the language. The challenge that we had in Primo when we are doing enhancement to the main menu, and we have the Primo back office as shared wizard that also work for the classic and for the new interface. So we have a challenge over there not to touch the and not to affect the classic interface. What we do in order to support that, and we created a new mapping table. And in order to help you better configure that, we created a new documentation page to better explain how to configure the main menu links in the new UI, so you can follow that to get an assistant. Of course, any question you have, you can submit a case for that. So, as I said, for customer with multilingual interface, now there is an option not only to see translated labels on the main menu, and also to configure different URL based on your localization, based on the language that you choose. Okay, now I want to a little bit share with you as also working as a feedback with customers. Now we are improve internally our workflow with regarding the Primo Analytics, and this allow us to introduce these enhancements. First, the first enhancement with regarding to Primo Analytics is coming from the idea customer wanted to see and to be able to better determine the order of the main menu link based of the usage. So now with this release, with the upcoming release, we are introducing providing a usage information for the links based on the order. So you will be able to know how many user clicks on link number 6 or number 5, and then better priority based on the usage, the order of the main menu link. So this is something that we have recently adding. And also we also have an ongoing effort to provide usage information also for features that were released in the past. So we are in this release adding collection usage for the collection discovery, for the newspaper, for the next and previous buttons, and also for the My Library card. And of course, we also, with the recently released features such as the relation item, the contextual relationship, we are also adding with each release the Primo Analytics for that. So This is our focus. You are going to see in the upcoming release more enhancements of the Primo Analyst on Primo Analytics and more coverage for previous features that were released. Okay. More updates that I want to share with you. We also Primo so far allow the customer to receive email alerts when for queries that is for saved queries. Before this enhancement, the only way to cancel an alert was to register to the favorites, to sign in and go to the saved query, and over there to click on the unsubscribe email. Now this and also from legal consideration, and also because of the flexibility that you can also assign someone else to subscribe to get email alerts. Now we are introducing a new link below in the email and in the footer of the email, a new link that allow you to unsubscribe. So any saved email alert that you are going to see will be with the additional of the unsubscribed. We are now having a new services. When you click on the link, you will be able to unsubscribe for those email alerts. Currently, it's look as the visualization of that is as I'm showing you here. And once we'll work on the ability to customize the email and to customize the email and better format the way the email are being sent. This is also one of the NERS enhancement for this year. We also going to improve the visualization of this unsubscribe. So you should wait for it. The format is going to be improved with regarding to that. In addition, another update that we did from performance and accessibility consideration is we added to the My Favorites the load more results. So far, before this release, there was like endless scrolling for the favorites, and now we are introducing the load more results. So this is also additional UX improvement that we are adding with this release. Now, more update that I want to share with you and communicate. And again, accessibility is on our focus. We are recently, with every release, we are improving and introducing more bulk of accessibility fixes. Recently, we published in the documentation two new documents. We've updated the VPAT. We have updated a report where we said how Primo is applying with the standards and what are the gaps. So we update this one, and this is based on the May and June release. This is the update is based on the recent include the fixes that we are already applied so far. In addition to that, and working closely with the Primo working group, we also published a new document which we call it with Primo Accessibility Roadmap, where we list all of the accessibility gaps that we know and we intend to solve. So we are making it transparent. Those are all of the list. Here we can find all of the items that we plan to work with the timeline. The item that we are introducing here are aggregation of leftover that we had from external accessibility report that we had. It's also from scanning customer reports. Every customer moved to the new UI also have kind of report sending it to us, so we scan and also get all of the gaps that were identified in those reports, and of course also support cases and that also the Primo working groups gathered. So it's all listed here and available in the documentation, and you will see in each release and more fixes with regarding to that. Another update that I want to share with you, every May release we are going to communicate to you to all of the customers that are using the SAML user authentication to start engage with our IT, both Primo VE, Alma customer. If you are using SAML user authentication, it's a good time to renew the SAML certification. In the documentation, you will find the procedure how to renew that. And we are mentioned that this is expired in October, so follow the instruction over there. And before I hand over to Hani, I also want to mention with virtual release, we are going to do some kind of brief update about the CDI. So CDI, as you may heard, is our Central Discovery Index. This is the project we are running now. And just to mention what it's for, it's like our unified index. We are going to have a unified index for both Primo and for both SAML, and this helps us to enhance the operational. It will also allow us to introduce some distinct enhancements and key features that are also elaborated here. What you see in this release as part of the CDI project is the contextual relation with the Central Discovery Index and the upgrade of our infrastructure. We are now more able to be focused on smart services and data intelligence, and also to provide you some more efficient way to activate, like single activation in the future, and also to improve the cycle of the activation. And I would like to invite you to participate in the upcoming webinar on May 29, and to register to that. Christine Sloan is going to share with you more about the project, more about this key enhancement, and of course, you can also raise questions. We have already shared it with customer at Iluna, and we got a good vibe, a good feedback from customer wanting this direction. So please, you are welcome to register to this upcoming webinar in order to better be updated with this project. And now I'm going to hand over to Hani.
So thank you, Nili, and hello, everyone. In my part about Primo VE, I would like to give you quite a brief update about what are the news and functionalities that we added in Primo VE in this quarter. Actually, it's 3 versions. It's March, April, and June. And we will also detail some of them and demonstrate them. Let's start. The first one is about normalization of local search and facet. This is a meaningful feature that customer asked and wait for, and this feature actually enhances normalization suite the Primo VE has. We are now giving the ability to create local search and facet field by using normalization rule. I will detail this, we'll talk about it, and also demo this. We have several features that we have added related to the Get It. Those are going to be released in June. The first one is the display item requestability and loan availability. We have also adding a support for Alma configuration for location ordering profile. So you will be able to use this configuration and see it affected in Primo VE in the Get It. And also support the item level requesting feature in the Get It. We also extend the local resource type configuration to allow you to create resource type based on the leader or fixed field. It was an idea and also requested by customers. I will show you, maybe give you more details about this feature. As usual, we are adding features that related to consortia. So in June, we will release a more granularity for the entire network scope based on the availability. We will also talk about it. about facet, we also have an enhancement related to the facet. Now, Primo VE allow you to display more facet value per facet. Before, you could display 20 values per facet, and now you can configure to display up to 50 values. And regional related features is as an ongoing, we continue to develop features per region based on the region needs. So we developed in this quarter several features. We support interface language for Russian. We also added several enhancements and improvements in the Unimark area to support it for French and Italian customers. We also we are going to release in June the Spanish related feature about their spatial characters, the way to index and search the Spanish spatial characters, and also in Japanese customers, we are going to support Japanese character conversion of Kana 222. And in the end, as before, in the previous update, I would like to show you an example of a feature that we take the advantage of the platform, the idea that Primo VE and Alma are on the same platform. This allows us to implement features in a better way, so the setup is easier and the effect on the user is faster. I would like to show you one example from this quarter. So this is actually the brief update about the last releases, and now let's talk about the first one, about the normalization of local search and facet fields. This, as I will first describe the new ability, and then we will continue to the demo. This is actually a new tool that was added to the normalization suite and allow you to create local search field or local facet field from any mark field. This is actually the addition of the current existing normalization functionality. It allows you to create from any mark tag for search and facet. By using normalization rule, you can create it from any subfield with the conditions, with the regular expression, etc. So you can see in the normalization rule page, in the local field page configuration, that we are now added the ability to search and facet by using normalization rule. And in the edit of this, you can see the rule, the normalization rule. You can mention here and write it any rule that you would like, any field that you would like to use as a search or a facet. The dual language is actually used the same like Alma use, the same normalization rules, and also this already used for display in Primo VE. Display normalization was released in last year, so now this the same concept and the same language. It will be used also for search and facet. We have documentation about the syntax, about some examples. As I said, it's used by rules. In order to manage the local fields that you would like to use with normalization rule, actually, currently we will have two ways to define local search and facet field by the existing functionality from the closed list of mark fields, or by using normalization rules. And in order to manage it and control it, we have created a separate configuration, and you enter in the discovery configuration a local field using search and facet normalization rule, and there you can configure up to 10 local fields that you would like to use the normalization rules. I will show you and how exactly you can set this up. And a local field by using normalization rule require an index. So after you define the normalization rule and test it, you have to re-index the full data in order to apply this normalization on your data. So this actually require to open a case for support to ask for re-index of the data. I would like to show you what we plan in this area. It's actually an ongoing and additional features in this area are planned. So in July, we plan to release a test tool. I will show you how you can test it in June, but in July, you will have the test tool. And in August, we are going to support this feature also for Unimark customers. We also would like to organize a webinar to talk about the full normalization suite. We have a lot of options for normalizations, for display and for search and facet with the various ways. So we are going to organize a webinar to give you a full picture of all the tools and all the options that you have in Primo VE to normalize your data. Currently, as I said, actually we have, as part of the normalization configuration, there is an option to create local field for search and facet. So what is the difference, and what is the new in this new feature? So this table actually organize and give you a list of what we have in every option. The existing options that we already released from almost day one of Primo VE is the ability to use for local field, to configure local field for search and facet from a closed list of mark tags. Those are actually a closed list of all the local mark tags. Those are for example, 9xx, 5xx, 69x. All those are mark local fields. So those are displayed in the drop down in the configuration, and you can select from this list. By using the normalization rules, the new functionality, you can use all the mark tags, also those that are not local fields. We have also in the mark tag list, when you define a field to use for search and facet from the drop down, we take the full mark tag. All the subfields are indexed and used for the facet. By using normalization rule, you have the flexibility to use any tag, any subfield, to use conditions, etc. And also the meaningful difference that you have to know about that is actually when you use the mark tag from a drop-down, it will be applied immediately. Actually, what we do, we index in advance all the local mark fields, all the 6 and 5xx, 69x, 009, etc., all the local mark fields, we index in advance but it's not used in the system, it's just in the index. So when you configure to use those fields, it's applied immediately, and you can see in immediate immediately after that the search and the facet in the front end. When you use the normalization rule, it requires indexing of the data. And you have to test it and open a support for index of the institutional data. So this gives you a picture about the strength and the benefit of every feature, every ability, and give you an option to decide when you would like to use the existing option and when to use the new normalization rule option. And then let's go to the demo. Before, I just want to present the new the change that we did for the existing page. This is the existing page for local field. Here you can see that we have the ability to add mark field from a closed list, and now the normalization rule for display was gathered to the same page and not divided to a different tab like before. So this is a change for the existing page. And we have a new page for when you defined a local field to use a search and facet. So you can see that now you have the normalization rule for display and also for search and facet, and you can define your normalization. So let's see. Let's do a demo and see how we are using and defining this new option. So first, I would like to define, as I said, we have a separate configuration. We have under other an ability to define the local fields that you would like to use as in a normalization rule. So now I will add, for example, local field 8. And by this setup, when I will go to manage display and local field, and I will add the local field 8, I can see that the page is displayed to use the normalization for search and facet, and I have the ability to create and edit the normalization rule. So now I would like to use the 385 mark field in order to create an audience search and facet field. So let's define the display label. I would like it for search and facet. So now I have done with the configuration. I created the normalization rule and also enable the search and facet checkbox. Then save and apply the rule. Now what I would like to do is to add this field to the advanced field in the advanced search and in the view, and also to add it to the facet list. So let's edit the view, go to the advanced search configuration. I would like to add the index of this new, let's search for the audience. I will add the index, and in the brief result, I would like to add my local field, my local facet. Let's see that it's now available. So I am done with the configuration. Let's go to the view. I can see actually in the advanced search, I will be able to see the audience, okay, and search for any value. I would like to search by historians, by this field, but now I don't have any record that is found because I didn't index any record after my setup. So for the testing, what I will do is I will go to Alma to find any record. Okay, I already prepared such a record with 385. You can see here. that I have this record with this value. Okay. Now what I have to do in order to reindex this record is to edit, just edit, and save the record. By this save record, I actually apply a reindex on this record. So now I will save and release the record. Okay, so let's first search again by the same value in this field. And now I can see that I find this record. Actually, this was indexed, and the local field 8 was indexed with the 385 with the subfield A, and now I can find it. Let's search in a simple search in order to find more results to see the facet. And you can see in the audience, I have a new facet here, audience, with this my new value with the record that I indexed now. So this is in a high level about the normalization rule. You are welcome to use it, to test it, and we will be happy to hear your feedback about this feature. The next feature that I would like to talk about is the consortium. It's related to consortium. It's actually enhance the granularity in entire network scope configuration. We have several configurations that we are added before, and now we have added a new condition, ability to create a scope based on availability. So for now, for consortia, you can now create entire network scope for physical items, for example, or for digital, for electronic, etc. It gives you a ability to create such a scope. This will be released in June. You can see here when every feature was released in Primo VE. The next one is about leader and fixed field and local resource type. Actually, what we've got idea exchange and feedback from customers that the leader and the fixed field are their primary source in the mark for resource type identification. So we have added the ability to use also regular expression. Before we had the ability to create a local resource type based on the mark and subfield. Now you can create based from the leader or from any fixed field like 008, etc., and use the regular expression by a new checkbox and use it as your local resource type. The next and almost the last one of the Primo VE features that I wanted to talk in details is an example of take advantage of the platform. What we have actually, we have a situation that also in Primo that library can have multiple locations with different names, like we have here, storage 1, 2, 3, but they would like they would like to decide, or they would like to define all of them with the same external name. This is in order in Primo it was used for the facet in order to display for the user one facet, because actually it's a one location in user point of view, and customers don't want to present for the user several storage locations. So in Alma, there is a configuration to define for every storage location the same external name. And what was in Primo, just to compare to Primo, what you have to in Primo, Alma published Primo the external name and not the name of the location. And in Primo, you could create a location facet based on the external name. In Primo VE, what we did, we actually create the location facet based on the external name. So if we have a situation of several locations with the same external name, in Primo VE, you will see it automatically as one location, only in case it's from the same library. Because when it's from different libraries, customers would like to present everyone per library. If we have several locations from the same library, we will merge all of them, and when I will click on it, when user will click on this location, it actually will present results from the several, from all the locations, in this example, from all the storage locations. This does not require reload or reindex of the data like in Primo. Actually, in Primo, you have to change, if you would like to change the external name to create such a unified facet, you have to change the external name, publish the data from Alma, reload to Primo index, etc. In Primo VE, by changing the external name, it will automatically will affect the Primo VE location facet. Some more Primo VE updates is about the merging information from all the records in the dedup group. It's actually a new feature that's requested by customers. Customers wanted to identify in any way the dedup record and to know what are the members in this dedup record. So we have added the two abilities to display the MMS IDs for dedup record. You can add it as a new field in the display, full display of the record, and then you can see a list of all the dedup member IDs, or don't show it in the full display, but just see it in a show PNX. So also in show PNX, you can see the dedup member IDs list of all the members. And we are also merging the courses from all the members in the dedup record, in the dedup group. So this is a new feature that we will release. And about the search response time improvement. So just as you know, performance is our top priority, and we keep working on performance improvement. In June release, the delivery calculation is separated from the search API. The delivery it's done in a separate call. This change will improve the search response time. And the coming releases, we will focus, and we have a plan to add additional enhancement in search area and also in the get it areas. So actually, this is related to the Primo VE updates. Now, before I will give to Nili to talk about the sneak peek for Primo in general for the coming quarter, I just would like to detail about the Primo VE. We have two features. We have the ranking configuration that we plan for Q3 and also the union view for Consortium. Okay.
Thank you, Hani. More updated to a plan for the next quarter is also another enhancement, another contextual service. So if you are going to interest in item in the full display, and this item is part of a course, or if this item is part of the collection, you will be able to see more items from the same course, more items from the same collection. So better visualization, better more relation in the context, and better promotion of data that you choose to correlate together, such as courses and collections. So this is one of the items that we are working for the next quarter. Another thing is we are enhancing the ability to export to Citation Manager. Now we are going to provide the ability to export to Mendeley for users that are using Mendeley as a Citation Manager. So it's also something that is planned. Another nice enhancement for loans, we got the community request to provide explanation. If loan is not renewable, we first indicate that it's not renewable. And for the Alma, for the Primo Alma customer, we are also going to provide also the explanation, the reason why the loan is not renewable. In addition, there is an ongoing project, and we are working also with some customers, partners on that, of improving the way Primo records going to be visualized to the web, to our search engine. We call all of this project we are making. The title of all of this project is search engine optimization. We are applying friendliness. We want our platform, our Primo, to be optimized to other search engines, so our search engine can be better crawl the data and understand what is those records all about. The things that we are going to do, the thing that we are currently on the table and in work, is better display metadata tags on the data. We have released in February additional meta tags for the full display, such as the title and description. We planned in August release to add additional meta tags for collection page, for the collection discovery, collection lobby, and the collection page, to add over there the title and the description that you choose to promote for those collections. So this is one aspect for one optimization that we would like to work. We are also going to add to those pages canonical URL. That means that all of the pages will be ranked into one. And the thing that we are working currently as a proof of concept is to applying some kind of dynamic rendering. Since Primo pages are considered to be heavy JavaScript pages because it's Angular based, we are working also to have some kind of additional render server where we can route requests coming from Google or for crawlers, Google crawlers, to better provide a static HTML instead of that. If someone has question on that, you can email us. This is something that we are working on. And of course, as I said, Primo Analytics accessibility with each release. So I think that by that, Hani, you can move to the thank you slide. We cover all of the things that we wanted to share with you.